I want to walk you through what actually happens behind the scenes during a multiple offer negotiation here in the East Bay, the parts nobody usually talks about on camera. Whether you're a buyer trying to win a home you love, or a seller sitting on a stack of offers trying to figure out which one to counter, the patterns I'm about to show you play out over and over in this market. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly what separates the offers that get taken seriously from the ones that get set aside. If we haven't met yet, I'm Jenn Collins, and I help people buy and sell homes and figure out where exactly they want to live here in the Tri-Valley and throughout the East Bay. Most of the people we work with are either relocating, upsizing, downsizing, or just trying to make a smart move without regretting it later. And that's exactly what this channel is here for. So let's get into it. Here's the story most buyers and sellers believe. Winning a bidding war is mostly about price. Whoever offers the most money wins. Well, that's not the full picture. Price matters, of course, but in a genuine multiple offer situation, the strength of your representation and the way your offer is actually put together can matter just as much. So here's the question we're answering today. What actually gets an offer accepted or a counter offer accepted when there's real competition on the table? Let's start with something most buyers and sellers never see, which is how much your agent affects whether your offer even gets a fair look. When a listing agent receives a stack of offers, price is not the only thing being reviewed. We're also looking at who wrote the offer, which agent, which brokerage, and whether that agent has a track record of closing deals cleanly. If two offers are close in price and one buyer's agent is experienced while the other isn't, that difference can genuinely tip the scale because the seller is trusting that agent to get the deal closed without drama. Just imagine a listing agent juggling dozens of offers on a single home. Only a handful of buyer's agents actually take the time to call to advocate for their client, sharing their client's story with the listing agent so that the listing agent can then share it with their sellers, walking through their buyer's financial strength and answering questions directly. Meanwhile, several agents simply submit the paperwork and never even follow up to confirm that it was even received. That always makes me wonder, did the potential buyer even see the home in person? That silence can seem like a lack of professionalism, and it can quietly cost their buyer the deal. Presentation matters too. Offers with outdated forms, missing dates or signatures, or missing required disclosures really signal an agent who isn't detail-oriented, and in a competitive situation, that's a real disadvantage for their client. And responsiveness matters just as much. If your agent takes a day or two to turn around paperwork while emotions and deadlines are moving fast, that slowness becomes a preview of how the rest of the transaction is likely to go. The takeaway here is simple. Interview at least 3 agents before you commit to one. Whether you're buying or selling, you'll notice a difference in professionalism fast, and it's worth the extra time it takes to compare. Okay, none of this is about scaring you away from a competitive market. It's about understanding that who represents you is doing a lot of work that you never see. Drop a comment and let me know if you've ever wondered what's actually happening behind the scenes of an offer you submitted. And if you want our buyer or seller guides, scan this QR code for all of our resources. Whether you're buying or selling anywhere in the East Bay, I'd love to help you navigate a competitive offer situation. Reach out to us for a complimentary, no-pressure consultation, no obligation at all. And if you're buying or selling somewhere outside of our area, whether that's another part of California or clear across the country, we have an expert-vetted referral network of agents, and I would love to connect you with them. If you're a buyer, there are a handful of things that consistently make an offer rise to the top. First, speed of financing. The standard loan contingency period in a typical California contract gives you 17 days, but a strong lender can often get you fully underwritten well before that deadline. If your current lender can't move quickly, it's worth finding someone who can before you're competing for a home you really want. Second, have your proof of funds ready to attach to the offer, covering both your initial deposit, meaning the good faith deposit that shows you're serious, and your down payment. When we work with buyers, we encourage them to plan for that initial deposit to be due in 1 business day instead of the 3 business days the contract allows for. Sellers really like to see buyers who are serious and who move quickly, and this is a great way to get the transaction started smoothly. Third, let's talk about personal letters to the seller. I know buyers love writing these, sharing a little bit about their family and why they love the home. They can be sweet, but many listing agreements now let sellers decide upfront whether they want to receive them at all, partly because relying on emotion to choose a buyer can create fair housing concerns. If a seller isn't accepting them, all that effort won't move the needle. But it's still important for your agent to be able to share your story and why you chose this home with the seller's agent. So be sure to ask them to do so. But really, what actually impresses a seller more than a heartfelt letter is a clean, well-financed offer with a lender who can close fast. Fourth, think carefully about your appraisal contingency, meaning the condition that lets you back out if the home doesn't appraise for the offer price. Waiving it can strengthen your offer if you're confident in your finances, but only do this if you genuinely don't need that protection. A middle ground we negotiate for our clients is letting the buyers agree to cover a set amount below the appraised value so they get some flexibility without waiving the safety net entirely. Fifth, keep your offer clean and customary. Know who typically pays for title, escrow, and transfer taxes in your area. And don't ask the seller to cover costs that are traditionally the buyer's responsibility. Offers that push for non-customary terms tend to put sellers on the defensive right out of the gate. Now, let's flip to the seller side, because a lot of this negotiation starts long before any offers actually come in. One of the most effective things a seller can do is to get ahead of the inspection process entirely. Ordering your own home inspection and termite inspection before listing, then addressing what comes up in that report, means that buyers are making their offers with full information rather than guessing. When you also provide all required seller disclosures up front, buyers can write stronger, cleaner offers because there's less uncertainty to price into their number. It tends to shorten negotiations and lower the odds of a deal falling apart later over a surprise. Staging and presentation still matter enormously too. Homes that are prepared well and photographed well simply generate more interest and more foot traffic, which naturally creates more competition among buyers. And if you're a seller, depending on the market, you may want to consider setting an offer date. Just imagine you list on Monday, you hold your open houses through the weekend, and by Sunday night, you already have one strong offer in hand. It can be tempting to accept it immediately, but if you've planned a specific window to collect and review all offers together, sticking to that plan rather than jumping at the first strong number often gets you a meaningfully better outcome. A good agent will have the instinct and the experience to tell you when patience is worth it and when it isn't. So, what actually works in a multiple offer situation? If you're a buyer heading into a competitive offer, your strongest moves are a fast lender, ready proof of funds, and a clean offer built on customary terms. If you're a seller expecting multiple offers, completing your inspections and disclosures up front and sticking to a planned review timeline instead of just reacting to the first offer will almost always serve you better. If you're a first-time buyer, the single most important decision you'll make is who represents you. Interview at least 3 agents and ask them how they plan to make your offer stand out. Winning a bidding war isn't just about the biggest number. It's about being genuinely prepared and having the right people in your corner when it matters most. If this video was helpful to you, and I hope it was, hit the like button, subscribe to our community, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. And if you know someone about to jump into a competitive offer situation here in the East Bay, be sure to send this to them. I'm Jen with the Jenn Collins Group, and we help people make smart, confident moves here in the East Bay, whether that's next month or a year from now. If you're planning to buy or sell your home in the East Bay, I'd love to walk you through the process. Call or text me at the number below to schedule a complimentary, no obligation consultation. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.